I'm at a point in my life, like, we all grew up in the streets, and we try to be better, but they labeled us felons, sent us back to jail. I had to fight against that the whole time to gain my respect and be who I am today, and I'm proud of that.
He said he saw Diddy at one point after an encounter, Cassie by the hair from her computer seat all the way back to her bedroom while she was and screaming and crying. And after she apologized and came out, he said that Diddy said, okay, you guys want to continue, and he couldn't perform. And that was it. From there, he could not perform after that. And he saw Diddy, Cassie, 2 or 3 more times after that as well.
Day 13 of the Diddy trial wasn't just another day in court. It was a turning point. The energy in the courtroom was different from the start. More intense, more tense. And that's because the witness on the stand, Mia, wasn't just any witness. Her testimony had the potential to change everything. The focus of today wasn't on the sensational details of past relationships.
Cassie told the jury that the offs made her feel disgusting and humiliated and worthless.
She did say these lasted between 1 and 4 days, and it would take her an equal amount of time to get her body recovered, to rehydrate, to rest.
Well, I think we're going to learn a lot about the nature of Cassie's relationship with Diddy.
Cassie Ventura just named Christina Korm as keeping tabs on her for Diddy.
It was about something more technical, but just as serious. Forced labor. Not abuse. Not just emotional manipulation, but forced labor, as defined by law, getting someone to work for you using threats, psychological tricks, or fear of losing everything they've built. Mia had worked closely with Diddy's company. She wasn't just a random employee, she was in deep. She described what it was like to live and breathe her job.
Emily Johnson actually said that Cassie did choke on of sort when Diddy forced this to allegedly urinate in her mouth. They did say inner circle numerous times, I believe, really trying to amplify the RICO charges. Diddy couldn't have done all of these crimes without his inner circle, right? Without his bodyguard, without his driver, without his assistant. They talked about alleged kidnappings. That one time he kidnapped his assistant to go and try to find Cassie when he thought Cassie was cheating. I mean, it was wild. I feel like I could go on forever, but I won't.
To pour everything into it, only to find herself stuck in a toxic cycle. Not because she wanted to stay, but because she felt like she had no other option. One of the key moments today was when the defense tried to paint her as someone who was willingly there. They brought up a scrapbook she once made for Diddy as a birthday gift. A personal gesture, sweet, thoughtful. The kind of thing a friend or even a fan might make. The defense used it to suggest she wasn't afraid of him, that she actually cared about him. But Mia clapped back. She didn't deny making the gift. She didn't pretend she never wrote the birthday message. What she said was powerful. It's called psychological abuse. She explained that even after someone hurts you, you can still be stuck wanting their approval, especially when that person holds the keys to your future, your job, your connections, your reputation. This wasn't just a story about being scared. It was about being trapped. She described growing up in a kind, loving home, and because of that, she always tried to see the good in people. So when Diddy showed her kindness, she clung onto it. She wanted to believe that version of him was real, that the kindness wasn't just a mask. And when he was cruel, she blamed herself. That's what trauma does. It confuses your sense of reality. It makes you question your own judgment. At one point, the defense attorney asked her something that made the whole courtroom hold its breath. You're not a weak person, are you? The implication was clear. If you're strong, you wouldn't let someone treat you this way. But Mia didn't take the bait. She responded, I'm not sure. Because strength doesn't mean you never get hurt. It doesn't mean you're immune to manipulation. You can be strong and still be broken down by someone who knows exactly how to get inside your head. The defense pushed even harder. They questioned whether she was lying about being assaulted. They twisted her past words, confused her on purpose. But Mia stood firm. "Everything I said here is true," she said. That was one of the strongest moments of the day. She didn't back down. She owned her story. Then came the texts. The defense read aloud a message Mia had sent Diddy after learning she was getting laid off. In it, she wrote that she didn't want to live anymore, that her life felt over. And Diddy's response? He panicked. He texted back immediately, telling her not to say that he was going to call her parents if she didn't answer. He begged her to respond. The defense used this as proof that Mia wanted to work for Diddy, that she wasn't being forced to stay, that losing her job devastated her. But Mia explained why. She'd worked there for years. She had no college degree. Her entire career, everything she knew, was tied to that job. And in the music industry, it's not like working in an office. There are only a few major labels. If someone powerful like Diddy doesn't want you around, it can feel like the end of the road. To her, getting laid off wasn't just about money. It was about losing her identity, her purpose, her future. And that's what the prosecution is trying to show, that this wasn't a normal job, that Diddy had so much power over his employees. They felt like they couldn't leave even when they wanted to. The courtroom heard about how Diddy would tell people they'd go missing if they crossed him, that he used fear, not fists, to control those around him. That's what forced labor looks like. Not always bruises, but emotional chains. Mia explained that she didn't feel free, that even when she had a chance to leave, she couldn't see a life beyond Diddy's world. And that kind of control is exactly what this trial is about. The jury sat quietly, taking it all in. Mia's words, the defense's challenges, the weight of what was being said. Some jurors nodded, others wrote notes. No one looked bored. No one looked like they weren't paying attention. By the end of the day, the mood had shifted. The room felt heavier, more serious. This wasn't just about celebrity gossip anymore. It was about power, control, and what it really means to be free. We'll have to see what happens next. But after today, one thing is clear. This case is about much more than headlines. It's about real people, real pain, and a system that's finally being forced to look at itself in the mirror. But what do you think about these latest developments? Do you believe justice will be served? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We're reading them all. And if you want to stay locked in as this story unfolds, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Like, comment, and share to keep the conversation going. This is far from over. Stay tuned.